Hey, look! What a cool and interesting mode! I hope Epic doesn't kill it by not giving it any updates or anything. Ah, shit. So, Fortnite Ballistic is gone, along with a few other modes. By the way, whatever Legends Landing is, it's still up. And honestly, Ballistic was probably my favorite side mode in Fortnite. Like, yeah, it wasn't something groundbreaking, but it was fun. It's too bad that Epic gave up on the mode before giving it a proper chance to shine. It had so much potential and all they needed to do was the bare minimum. Maybe add a gun or two in an update, or just finally texture a map. I'm just saying that it wasn't that hard to keep the mode alive, plus it did have a small but dedicated fanbase. So what am I here for? Well, to give Fortnite Ballistic a proper send-off, I decided that I wanted to hit Unreal. Why? Well, I never hit that rank before, and I did plan to do this video eventually, so this was kinda my last chance to do it. Maybe it's also to show Epic that I cared about this mode, just like many other people. Or maybe I just needed an excuse to talk about my favorite Fortnite side mode. Who knows? But before we move on with the video, a quick explanations for those who didn't play Ballistic or didn't know it existed. Because being a good content creator requires me to assume there's at least one person who doesn't know. Fortnite Ballistic was Epic's take on the tactical shooter genre. In this mode, two teams of 5 fought against each other. There were the attackers, whose goal was to plant the Rift Point device or kill the entire enemy team. And there were the defenders, whose goal was to stop the attackers, either by killing all of them before they managed to plant the bomb, or by defusing said bomb. Ballistic was supposed to compete with the likes of games like Valorant and Counter-Strike. To do so, Epic implemented a few unique things to it, but more on those later. So, without wasting more of your time, let's find out what rank I'm starting in.
Perfetto. Il tuo blocco sicuro è quello.
Poi c'è su show.
Oh my fucking god, Bronze 2. This shit will be a long ass journey. Good thing I forced some of my friends to help me get through this. Let me introduce you to them. John Blue, the pacifist. Guess where that came from? Uggy Minion. He plays the game. Shadow, the sweat in denial, also sings in fucking Italian, I think.
Con te partirò, poesi che non l'ho mai veduto, vissuto con te.
Come on, no matter what, bro will be stuck in bronze. And on a few occasions... How the fuck do I even pronounce this? Of course, we weren't always playing as a full squad, because who could have guessed people have lives outside video games? Anyway, Bronze 2 is where we start this journey. Well, actually, allow me to first talk about the thing that's supposed to make Fortnite Ballistic stand out when compared to other tactical shooters. That thing being the gadgets! I'm talking about this way too enthusiastically. We have your standard frag grenade. You throw it and it explodes. There's the impulse grenades. These allow you to get over some walls on certain maps. Also, you can annoy your teammates with these. Bubble shields. No one ever picks these, unless they feel like trolling their teammates. Recon grenade. Reveals everyone in a certain radius after it lands. Proximity mines. You place these and if someone walks nearby, they explode. Fire grenades. You throw one of these to commit arson, also known as friendly fire, John Blue's favorite. Then there's overdrive, a nice little drink that makes you go fast, allows you to speed plant and speed defuse. Though the defusing part only works on some maps. On which ones? I don't know, don't ask me, I ain't no expert. Madman's smoke grenade, a very powerful smoke grenade that heals everyone inside it. And lastly, the wall, which, as the name suggests, spawns a breakable wall. Out of all these gadgets, my favorite here are probably the two mobility options, because let's be honest, who doesn't like to go fast like a madman? And also the wall, because trapping John Blue on spawn on Skyline 10 is funny.
Kurwa, kto to ścianę postawił? Ale...
Anyway, did anything interesting happen in the first ranks? No, not really. These were the least interesting games out of them all. Maybe except that one time I popped the fuck off and somehow won a 2v4 situation. The average skill of players at this point isn't anything noteworthy. This made it possible to solo queue and still enjoy yourself. But in later ranks, specifically after hitting Diamond, solo queuing was basically a death sentence, but more on that later. Right now there's a glitch that just obstructs your vision when you crouch. This totally doesn't impact gameplay in a significant way. Totally. Okay, never mind, I can't even joke about this shit, it's annoying as fuck. Though this was fixed later down the line, so you will not hear me mention this ever again. I'm glad that someone at Epic felt the need to fix this. Just to make the last moments of Ballistic to feel more pleasant, they really didn't have to do this, since the mode would soon be gone anyway, but the fact that they took time to fix this bug brought a small smile to my face. A smile this company often doesn't want me to make. And with all that, we finally entered the Diamond rank. This is the moment where Fortnite Ballistic gets real. This is the moment you have to take this mode seriously. This is the... Who am I kidding? This is Fortnite Ballistic, you never take this shit seriously. Despite what I just said, this is the point where this mode starts being somewhat challenging. You still can try and needlessly rush at everyone with the hope of getting at least one person, but in the long run it won't work. Diamond is the point where you actually need to start working with your teammates. Like, seriously, if you don't have good communication with your team, you're at a huge disadvantage. This is why solo queuing is basically a death sentence, or rather a gamble with the odds being fully against you.
Oh, dang it.
Because if you don't get very communicative people on your team, or someone you know is playing and talking with their friend in a call, 90% of the time you're basically done for. That's why having at least one friend queue with you can give you a great advantage, even if they aren't the best or straight up are a pacifist. John Blue? The info they can give you is able to make a huge difference. Plus, playing with them will make the experience way more enjoyable, just like everything you can do with a friend. This doesn't change the fact that you can still get absolute bombs as teammates. You know what I'm talking about, the ones that whine about you playing horribly whilst having stats of Agent 007. Dude, you are the one taking this shit too seriously. Throughout Hammerfall and Cinderwatch, you alone are the unemployed one. Or you can match with someone who's like Zero the Destroyer. The zero stands for zero frags, by the way. There's also a chance of getting an Ice Spice on your team. And people who play with this skin for some reason tend to be the dumbest players known to man. No, sorry, they are the dumbest people ever created by our universe. Like, dude, you keep dying with the bomb like an idiot. Don't pick it up. But despite all this, sometimes you can match with people who know what they're doing. Can you believe it? There are people who can use their brain and are communicative? It's just rare to find them.
Bober, kurwa!
Now would probably be the perfect moment to mention the maps, because holy crap, Epic cooked when it came to these. Sure, most of them weren't even textured, but the gameplay on them was just an absolute cinema. Each map in Ballistic felt different and fun to play. There's Skyline 10, the first map added and your most basic tactical shooter map ever. It's a mix of short-range and long-range combat sections with some opportunities to use certain gadgets. Mainly the wall, because it allowed you to block a lot of corridors on this map, and also trap John Blue on spawn. But other than that, there aren't that many spots where other gadgets could shine. For the first map added, it was alright. Next up, Hammerfall, the second textured map. The first one was Skyline 10, duh. It's made out of mostly these long stretches meant for long-range combat with some more tight corridors mixed in. The key feature of this map are these doors located at each side you can close and open. They mostly work as a way to make entering a site way harder. A thing to note is that doors here are very loud, so if you pay even the slightest amount of attention, you can use them as a way to tell where the enemies might be coming from. But there's a catch. This could also be used against you, because someone might be opening the door just to bait you there, whilst they go to a different side entrance. Honestly, I like this map. It's mostly long-range focused, but using something short-range is still viable. Now there's Storm Chaser Co. And it's my least favorite map out of the bunch. I'm not saying it's bad, I'm just saying I didn't enjoy it as much as the other maps. This one is focused mainly on medium range combat. It does have some long range sections, like on mid, but nothing noteworthy. The main selling point of Storm Chaser is how you can just jump over a lot of walls. Plus impulses work like a charm here. I know that they can effectively be used on almost every map. I know this can be said about any gadget with enough training, but here they truly shine. Like you can instantly impulse from mid straight up to A side. Other than this, I don't really have anything to say about it. Moving on to Cinderwatch. And honestly, I fuck with this one. The layout here is just amazing. It's mostly a close range map. There are so many smaller objects scattered around that work as cover, even in the more open areas. Hell, the best long range you'll get here will be at mid and on this stretch towards A side from the attacker's spawn. But on mid there are hardly any good peaks for long range, and if you try to rush this stretch as defense, even if you use the overdrive, you'll end up in a close combat situation. I like how, with the exception of B side, most of this map isn't very open. But the thing that I like even more is how almost every gadget is viable to use here. What I mean exactly is that despite all the gadgets working the same on each map, some work better on certain maps whilst being almost useless or very situational on others. For example, the fire grenade. It's a good item to stop the enemies from rushing, except me, I love dashing through these without much thought. But the range of the fire is not that big, so if you throw it, let's say on mid, it's unlikely to do much. You rather use it in a tight corridor or something. And Cinderwatch is perfect for that. It's filled with a bunch of corridors you can block with fire or the wall, has a few spots for impulsing through, except this entrance to A side. Or maybe it is. I don't know, tried it once, didn't work, didn't do it again. But besides that one issue, I love this map as a whole, solely for how every gadget is practically on equal value, except bubble shields, those still suck. I'm not saying that other maps don't let certain gadgets shine. Like I mentioned previously, if you know how to use even the worst items well, you can make them shine. But what I wanted to say is that Cinderwatch just does this the best out of all the maps. And that should be every single map. Oh wait, no, there's also K-Zone. It had this huge ass mid section, and that's all I remember about it. I mean, I loved using the wall on the fence here to pick into mid and into that stretch near A side, but I don't have anything noteworthy to say about this one. By the way, this is my second favorite map. Oh hey look, it's around the time that annoying bug got fixed. And look over there, we are in the elites now. So, does anything change at this point? A little bit, but we're still doing stupid shit and we're not getting punished for it. Because losing at this point only takes away 2 or 3%. Plus, we rarely lose, so whatever. We're just that good. I just realized that I haven't talked about any weapons yet. We are in Elite, and I haven't even mentioned a single gun once. What the actual fuck am I doing? Anyway, the best way to go about this would be in categories. First up, the pistols. There's only 3 of them. First up, the weapon you always start with. The Ranger pistol. It's your most average pistol ever. It deals alright damage, doesn't have a huge fire rate, and overall just works as a standard free gun you get at the start of each round. The actual fun stuff begins with the machine gun. This one is a fast shooting pistol with a small magazine that deals low damage. It's obviously meant to be used at shorter ranges, as its recoil is very hard to control. Unlike the Ranger, you have to buy this one. There's a whole ass economy this mode, but I'm not qualified to explain it. And the second purchasable sidearm is the hand cannon, a very slow fire rate, but high damage pistol. It's clearly meant to be used at long range. Hell, it's the only pistol that's equipped with a scope. Generally, these three are just there to help you early game or to save your ass from dying when you can't use your main gun. Then there are shotguns. For those, you got the hammer pump, which is your regular pump, and the frenzy auto shotgun, which as the name suggests, is an automatic shotgun. Both of these weapons were short range focused for obvious reason. I really love the cheaper one out of the two, the hammer pump, especially when combined with the overdrive or impulses. Something about running around, shooting like a madman, or jumping on someone's head just to pop them seems really fun. Oh, now I see why I like Cinderwatch so much. We, of course, have rifles. There's the Enforcer AR, which is the cheapest out of the four we have. It's slow, but it makes up in damage. The only drawback here is the magazine, because 12 ammo is not a lot for an AR. Overall, a solid option to consider. Then we have the Burst AR, which is alright, deals solid damage and has good fire rate, but I didn't use it that much, mainly because I don't like burst weapons. Next up, the Striker AR, my favorite. Compared to other ARs, it doesn't deal much, but it shoots fast, almost like an SMG. And lastly, we have the Nemesis AR, which is very similar to the Striker, but it has a slower fire rate in exchange for more damage. Well, it's a difference of 1 point, but shut up, we don't mention that. Both of these are probably the best ARs in Ballistic, but neither is better than the other. Either the fast Striker or the slow but powerful Nemesis, which unlike the first one can one-shot headshot. Enforcer could do that too, but I realized that too late and I'm not rewriting this part of the script. You'll probably end up using these guns the most, they are the most versatile out of them all. Okay, maybe you aren't an assault rifle fan. Well, luckily for you, this mode has SMGs. We got the Thunderburst SMG, which is a burst weapon. Skip. The Hyper SMG, a very fast gun that can pack a decent punch if you know how to control the recoil. There's the Veiled Precision SMG, which is slower but easier to control. And finally, the Drum Gun. This one, I'll actually talk a tad bit longer about it, because holy is this thing strong. This is the second most expensive gun in the entire mode, and you can tell. This thing has a huge magazine that can hold up to 80 bullets. The fire rate on this thing is also something, and to top it all off, the damage it deals is just perfect. This gun can shred people if used correctly. Of course it comes with the downside, that is the huge ass recoil and very slow reload, but shit, if you know how to handle this beast you can wipe the entire enemy team, or die like an idiot with it. Just like me! You'll find yourself using SMGs mostly when you want to rush something or someone, or sometimes just spraying and praying. And finally, the last category, sniper rifles. There's only 2 of these. The Sovereign is the cheaper one. It can one-shot headshot and deals decent body damage. Due to how cheap this thing is, you might as well use it every round. It's very useful for multiple scenarios, either to rack up some quick kills for bonus credits, or to put pressure on enemies due to it being reloaded 1 bullet at a time. As for the Sovereign's big brother, the Reaper sniper rifle, let me just tell you that this thing, in the right hands, is unstoppable. Not only can it one-shot headshot, but also one-shot body shot. Except the legs, that deals 120 damage. And with how you can just shoot a sniper rifle with almost 100% accuracy while walking in this mode, at least from my experience, this thing is just pure power. No wonder it's the most expensive weapon in Ballistic. It does come with the downside of having to reload the whole magazine each time, but like, who cares, this thing's shred. Most of the time you'll go with a sniper rifle to play more like a support. Unless you're Shadow, that dude kept using the Sovereign Sniper almost like an AR and kept getting away with it. And he had the audacity to tell us that he wasn't sweating. I'm telling you, this guy is in denial. Up to this point, everything has been going smoothly. We only lost a few games, but nothing major. But the setbacks, as I mentioned previously, weren't major, just a small percentage loss. But at the same time, the percentage gain wasn't amazing. Therefore, getting to Unreal turned from a challenge to more of a sluggish grind. Good thing I brought some friends, who helped me get through this. Without them, I couldn't have made it this far. It's about time we entered the champion rank. Oh, what the fuck? 99% elite? Okay, one more game, and there we go. Now we enter the champion rank. Okay, this is the point where matches actually got interesting, because unlike in Elite, where matches were mostly one-sided after a certain point, in Champion it was anyone's game. With exceptions, but for the storytelling or whatever we go with the hard grind assumption. This does not change the fact that we were starting to go insane at this point. Like, some of us just started singing fucking pony music of all things.
I had a dream I was a horse.
I
had a dream I was a
horse. I had a dream I was a horse, and you were in it. Good pony music, but still. We were going insane from playing so much Fortnite Ballistic. It's almost like our entire existence started to become Fortnite Ballistic. Am I over-exaggerating this? Yes, for dramatic effect, duh. Anyway, despite the difficulty spike, we managed to push through. Our opponents started getting stronger, but we did as well. Hell, we had the entire ranked bullshit behind us. At this point, we were determined to finish this as quickly as possible. And with the deadline of the mode shutting down coming closer with each step, we locked the fuck in. And we pushed. And pushed through until the very end. And we had finally hit. Do you ever spend hours chasing something that you know might not even matter in a few days? Because this whole thing, this whole getting to Unreal thing felt like that. At this point, I did start to question myself if this was even worth it. As much as I wanted to deny it, it was pretty obvious that the mode was getting canned way before the official announcement. But being honest, up until this point I hardly played the mode. Like, sure, I did grind it for the entire Star Wars season, but after that I just stopped playing it. I felt that it needed more polish, which I hoped it would receive over time, but with the news of it being removed, all those hopes were shattered. So going into this, I hoped to capture a lot of memories of Fortnite Ballistic before they eventually faded away, be it the horrible teammates and the amazing ones, John Blue being John Blue, Camon still being stuck in fucking bronze, and everything else in between. But you know what? I could probably live with it gone. But what really upsets me is everything else this fucking company has been doing recently. The bullshit V-Bucks price increase, which was way too overcomplicated and inflated the price of all cosmetic items, the poorly handled layoffs of 1,000 people, and their constant attempts at locking stuff behind FOMO shit. If these idiots didn't spend so much money on pointless corporate shit, and instead spend their resources on improving the existing game modes, this might have not happened. But what do I know? I will still keep playing Fortnite despite Epic discouraging me from doing so. And it's all because I fell in love with a corporate illustration. Does that reference even make sense? Whatever, we ball. In general, I just hate how big companies have been continuously ruining everything I enjoy. But moving on, despite all the mishaps, despite my growing hate for Epic, after all that pain, suffering, and Shadow is singing, we had finally made it! And with all that has been going through my head at the time, I only yelled one thing. Fuck you, Team Sweeney! Fuck you! Thank you for watching. I spent a really long time working on this video, way more than I would have liked, so if you enjoyed it, please like and subscribe, maybe leave a comment since that helps it reach more people. And again, thank you for watching.